Let's see here. Says we are live. Hopefully we are. Give it a couple of seconds. Yep. Hello, Gun Nation. How are y'all doing this evening?
What's up, everybody?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. We have Mr. Honest Outlaw on with us this evening, and so glad that he could join us. And of course, we have KS, we have 1776, so we are all here. And we're going to talk about some guns, gear, stuff like that. And anything y'all have questions on, please ask. We will try to get to everyone that we can. Go ahead. We'll let Honest Outlaw start it out. How are you doing this evening, sir?
Good. I keep thinking I need to get better lighting though, because I kind of look like a serial killer or like a Batman wannabe in here. So next time I have to work on it. Worked on the internet, and now I got to work on the lighting.
There you go. How are you gentlemen doing? Other gentlemen, and I use that term loosely.
I know. I was going to say I didn't think you were talking to either one of us. But no, man, doing well for a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
I'm doing great. I'm on vacation. I'm down here in the free state of North Carolina, and lucky enough, I've been able to carry my handguns with me everywhere I go because they honor New York State concealed carry permits, and they also have open carry down here. So God bless North Carolina. I wish I lived here.
There you go. Well, we'll go ahead. Honest has been on quite a while ago, and we'll go ahead and let him. If y'all aren't familiar with him, I have put a link in the description, so please subscribe to him. Probably a lot of the subscribers on our channels are subscribers of yours. But tell us kind of what's been going on. Maybe what I've seen, all your videos, but tell everybody kind of what you have going on, what you enjoy doing, and kind of give them some insight about you.
Okay. I live in Iowa. I review guns. I shoot quite a bit. I have a range in my backyard, and I shoot just about everything, from handguns to crossbows occasionally and all kinds of other stuff. And right now I'm going to be doing a video on 3D printed guns here pretty soon. Yeah,
cool.
You just make those. You just whittling them out of polymer with a little pocket knife.
No, I'm going to be making fun of a lot of the CNN reports and stuff.
Oh man, it is a joke. Sure.
Yeah, it really is.
Stuff they have going on. I'm like, really? Not to mention that they have no idea. That you have to buy the software, you have to buy the CAD machine. I mean, they have no idea what the hell that's involved. They think you can just make it out of whittling a piece of plastic or making it out of a trunk of a car, and that's not the way it is anyway.
Sure, I heard one guy say that they were going to print a lower and then walk right into an airport with it. It's like, what about the rest of the gun? Are you going to throw it at them?
Yeah, exactly. You'll beat him with a piece of polymer.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
What I want to know how those the materials for that stands up to the pressure of shooting. I don't understand the physics behind that.
Yeah, terribly. I've got a bunch of videos I'm going to put on it of them exploding. Some Australian police did a demo of them, and they pulled them with like a wire. They pulled the trigger, and they all blew up. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's kind of like a suicide. It's like a suicidal bomber.
Yeah, and it's only 22. So imagine what a 223 would look like if it was,
Yeah, or a 40 or a 45 or something like that. Yeah, you'd lose a hand, a couple of fingers at least.
Yeah, maybe a face.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, it is a joke. So, hell, what do you think about it, 1776, about all this mess going on with these things?
Well, I mean, everything in New York State is illegal, so that's going to be illegal. I'm sure they're going to outlaw printers and outlaw plastic and outlaw anything that you can make or assembly a gun with. So, yep, that'll probably be outlawed by next week. Well, I mean, everything in New York State is illegal, so
Well, you've seen all the guys that have like made shotguns out of like barrels, just like regular steel pipes and all that other stuff. Everybody's seen all that stuff, and of course that's steel, so it's not it's not polymer, but hell, they forget about all that stuff too. But of course you can't sneak in an airport.
Hey, we've got a question for Honest. REB is asking how the EP9 is doing.
Great. I just got the review out on it, and I've shot 1,100 rounds through now, and it's working pretty good. I found out you can buy rails for it online, so I'll have a quad rail instead of a bi-rail. Pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I noticed the small holes that, were in the front that you were pointing out. So is that where it screws in?
Yep. 10 and 2, I believe, instead of
Cool.
3-9. My wife loves it.
Well, you know that the price has gone up on that already. I've seen them now like for $559 and $560.
I did not know that.
Yeah. If you pull them up now on some sites, I think Buds and stuff, or someone had them for like $569, or they were showing that price. I don't know if anybody had them in stock, but that's the price they were trying to sell them at.
Yeah, I saw them on their website for around 400 or something. So I think that's what I listed. I was trying to list the MSRP because you never know what retail prices,
Yeah, it looks pretty awesome. I know that you have the Scorpion and stuff, and other firearms like that. So I'd be interested, and I'm sure you're going to do something. We're comparing them, but yeah, that price is pretty unbelievable for that, and especially shooting Glock mags.
Yeah, the only thing I'd worry about is it's got a polymer receiver. So if you were going to take it to like Afghanistan, I probably wouldn't recommend it. You're going to drop it off a bridge or something. And long term, I want to get like 3,000 or 4,000 rounds through it before I really, really recommend it. And that seems like a crazy test, but for a polymer receiver, it seems like it's too good to be true. And I want to break the thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, what is the warranty on it? Out of curiosity, did they have it posted? Because I didn't see it.
I don't know. I have no idea. Honestly, okay. I didn't look it up.
Yeah,
I always kind of assume that the warranties are going to be decent, but yeah, one never knows, I guess.
Yeah. So have you two have seen the caliber carbine he's talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. The fact that it doesn't come with a regular buffer tube kind of sucks though. And I know X-Star was commenting on the video and they said that there weren't buffer tubes available, but I saw a guy that's making them on YouTube, so you can buy them. But I don't know how well they're going to be.
I think it'd be cool to have a folder on it also.
Oh yeah. Well, folder or collapsible, like the new SPA3 or tailhook. Once you start using those, it's hard to go back to the old school braces from like last year.
Yeah. Yep. So any pistols that you're super excited about, or anything that's new coming out, or anything? I know that we've talked about it, us three have, but is there anything that you're really excited about or want to get your hands on?
Oh yeah. I just bought an Accu Shadow 2. I think that's what it's called. It's the Shadow 2 with the bearing, and then it comes with the tuned up CZ trigger and stuff. And I conned who was it, Lock Grips, into making me some special Shamrock grips, Irish grips. So that'd be cool. And then Lago Arms offered to fly me down to Czechoslovakia, but I'm not going to go to try the new Alien. So that was really
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. Too far.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty awesome though when you have that kind of opportunity.
Yeah. Well, I would like to shoot the pistol for sure, but I'd rather have them ship it here.
Yeah.
I don't want to be pulled in and all that. So.
Yeah. What about you, KS?
As far as things going on right now?
Yep. I mean, you have something to talk about.
Well, I have several things to talk about tonight. Are we talking just in terms of guns, or are we talking what are you looking for? What would you like?
I mean, guns. You released something today.
Well, I did. That is true. By the way, Rabbi, thank you very much.
Yes,
that was very nice of you. Appreciate it. Did release a video, and 17 did as well, about the Springfield Armory XDS Mod 2 9mm, because that was just announced today. So there was a little bit of coordination with a few channels I saw out there, and it's been very interesting. It's been interesting to read the comments and just the whole right, the whole 9 yards. I won't get into the nitty gritty of it, but interesting experience for sure.
Yeah, 17 of you. I guess he's.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm still here. You guys won't see me because I'm actually eating some chow. So, but KS is totally right. We released those XDS Mod 2s and the 9. It's a nice gun, man. I got kind of a mixed baggage of comments. I think overwhelmingly they were positive. Obviously they talked about, how Springfield did this or that. And my question would be, at what point do we begin to move forward from that? Because, technically they did something wrong. You're right. I guess they did, and the problem is, are they moving forward from that? Are they doing something better because of it? I personally think they are. Maybe it's not enough for certain people, and that's fine. I respect everybody's opinion out there, but they still make quality handguns. They make quality 1911s. The M1A is an amazing rifle, and I think most people would agree with that. And so as a result, do you condemn the entire company, including its employees, for what occurred a couple of years back? I mean, it's going to be personal opinion. I like their products. I like their handguns. I've owned several of them. I have no issues with the guns. But again, everybody's going to have their own personal opinion. But, I've been carrying it down here. Actually, I'm going to show you really quick. I'm going to go on camera. Did I go on camera?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
No, I just shut it off, right?
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So I've been carrying it, actually, the Harry's holster for the 19X, and it fits. It actually works. So I've been carrying this down in North Carolina, and the thing carries very well. It's very comfortable all day long. So, I mean, for me, it's been fine.
Good deal. Hey, Honest Outlaw, what do you think of the Banshee 300 AAC pistol?
So just basically the Banshee and 300 Blackout. It's a pretty sweet gun. Yeah, I like 300 Blackout. I have 2 of them, but I never shoot them because they're too expensive. I always end up shooting 5.56 or 9mm. But yeah, 300 Blackout's a great round. I mean, it suppresses really nice. Out of a 5-inch barrel, it's gonna have good killing power for sure. Way better than mine. It's just gonna be, $1 a round.
Yeah, are you pretty excited about the Banshee?
Yeah, I really am. Yeah, I got mine a 9mm because I've got like 100 Glock bags, and I just want to use it as a kind of a training tool. I like shooting 9mm carbines up close, steel. Yeah. If you're gonna run into some self-defense thing, it's gonna be close. I mean, self-defense shootings over 50 yards are so unheard of. You're better off getting struck by lightning 3 times. So it's nice to shoot that distance, but if you're going to be using it in the house, unless you're Donald Trump, you probably don't have a 50-yard house.
Right.
Yeah, I think they're awesome in the the 5.7 too.
Yeah, the 5.7 looks cool.
Yeah,
I just want to buy the round again. I'm cheap.
Yeah, well, I was going to say they're not cheap, and even the mags aren't cheap either. So, or they used to not be. I don't know if the mags have came down in price. I know the pistols haven't so much, and neither has the ammo. But there are more people making the ammo now than there used to be.
Yeah, maybe I'm old school, but I'd rather have a 45. I think 45 suppresses well, good hitting power, quiet.
Yeah, because I think honestly, you can use 5.56, 223 for speed. You don't have to grab a 5.7.
Sure, I wouldn't want to shoot a 5-inch barrel 223 inside though.
No.
The option. Even with a silencer. Oh boy, they're loud.
Would definitely light it up too.
So, what are your thoughts on the new CCP, or I don't even know if you want to call it a new CCP. I would say it's a poorly redesigned CCP. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Go ahead, Honest.
Well, I don't have a lot of experience with it, to be honest with you. I really haven't shot any of the Walther subcompacts, so I got nothing really. Looks like a good replacement for a Glock 43 if you like Walther. I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
What do you think?
Mine lasted an entire day before I sold it.
Oh, wow.
What do you think, KS?
I don't know just yet. I need to do a little bit more studying on it. I spent the day getting crushed by work, but I'm interested to learn a little bit more.
I really wasn't impressed with the first one, putting my hands on it, and I have not put my hands on this one, of course, yet. But it's just nothing exciting for me.
Well, it's the same gun.
Yeah. Well,
the only thing they did was they changed the takedown. So instead of having the tool, it's a switch in the back, and it's just, I don't know, man. It seems so gimmicky. I really wish Walther would just make something close to that as a PPQ, a slimmed, small version of a PPQ.
I've heard that's coming. I've heard they're going to make it compact. But
I hope so.
Yeah,
I want? I want a low bore axis PPQ. That's what I want. I want a PPQ with a Glock slide on it.
100% agree.
You don't want a PPQ with a high point slide on it?
It kind of already does.
I know, I was joking.
And yeah, I'll tell you what, that is so true. I like the PPQ for so many reasons. The ergos are great, the trigger is great, all that kind of stuff. But you're exactly right. I wish it sat shorter. And I wish all guns sat a little bit shorter, just a little bit more flat shooting. You know, that's one thing about the PPQ. I've never felt like I shot it very well, and for that exact reason.
Yeah, sights are definitely different because they're like 4 inches in the air.
Yeah, I really like the match, but the one thing I don't like about it is that the grip is the grip's good for the regular PPQ, but for the 5-inch, I wish they would have made it a little bit longer. You know, added 2 rounds on it.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Have you had a chance to, just out of curiosity, have you had a chance to shoot the 19X?
I always joke and say I have, because I have a bunch of 19s and I have a bunch of 17s, you know.
Right.
But I've held one, but I have yet to shoot one. I keep thinking I'm going to buy one, but it's so hypocritical because I have a big video out talking trash about it.
Yeah.
I did too, man, but I bought it anyway. It's a great gun.
Have you put a comp on it yet? Because that's why I would buy it.
Yes, I have a comp on mine.
Not allowed to.
Oh, I think I've seen yours. Yeah. That I would like to do. That would be cool.
Yeah, I have a comp on mine, and actually, it really does shoot super flat. I was real surprised with it. But one thing about the 19X over the 17, over the 34, you know, that really impresses me, and you have monster hands too, you know, like I do, is that little bitty tang at the bottom that covers the mag. That gives me just a little more real estate on that gun, and it makes it really perfect. I mean, I go all the way down on a 34, and I'm at the mag, but on the 19X, it really does help with that one little piece at the bottom.
Yeah, I put a magwell on my 34 just for that reason. I like that extra pressure.
Yeah.
It allows me to hold it a little bit firmer, but you keep talking me into it. I might have to try one.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth shooting it. I mean, nobody, you know, but yeah. I like it, and I'm not even a Glock guy. So
yeah, I just bought an ATI Air 15 for a couple of videos. So we'll see how interesting that thing's going to be. It was $320.
Yeah. Wow. That's the all polymer, or basically all polymer, right?
I actually have no idea. I looked on Gunbroker, found the cheapest possible buy now Air 15 and bought it. Cool. So we'll see.
Let's see here. We missed any questions? Oh, Bald and Curious says, get an Excalibur if you want a flat shooting, or an H9.
Excalibur. Is that the Grand Powers?
Yes.
Yeah, I've shot one of those. Those are nice guns.
Yeah. They are nice.
Good shot, too.
Yeah. Well, you know, KS loves the H9.
Well, it was funny. Keenan just said he just got here late. Has anyone talked about the new Hudson that's optics ready with the compensator on it? Keenan, I will tell you, I haven't. Yeah, I don't know. The vibe that I've gotten, certainly in talking locally around the gun stores around here, and there's one in particular that has had a Hudson, the exact same one on their shelf, I think since January, and so I think that, and I maintain, I've said this all along since the very beginning, that Hudson, when it runs, it's an incredible shooter, and I still believe that to this day, no doubt about that. But I think the newness and excitement is probably worn off a little bit, as it does with almost every gun. That's nothing new, right? We all see that with every gun. But I think because their market share is so small, I think it's probably easier to overlook them and perhaps look at other guns that are out there, and that I think that's the nature of the business. So I hope they continue to keep trucking along and dial in on what they've got, because it could be awesome. I probably won't revisit, but it still could be awesome.
I think the new H9, you know, that's cut for the RMR, I believe that's like $780, and that's just for the slide, if I remember right. Now, I could be wrong, but I think that's just for the slide. It's like they sell you just a milled slide.
Have you heard of the H9A, the new model they're going to have coming out? That's the one. No, it's going to be a aluminum frame.
Oh, yes.
About the weight of a Glock 19.
Yeah, we saw it at the NRA show. They also had a new one there with the comp on it at the NRA show. And, but, you know, I mean, I picked it up, and you can tell the difference between the two. I didn't shoot them or anything, so I don't know, but it's definitely lighter.
Yeah, what they did was, I think they made a mistake when they came out with a 4-inch all steel. It doesn't really serve a purpose. You know, that one should have been 5-inch, and I think the aluminum one should have been 4-inch.
Yeah.
I think they just kind of mixed and matched a little too much. And if you look at like the Hudson H9, I think it's a good idea, but it's in its first iteration, so they might make it reliable. Who knows?
Yeah. Let's see here. Have we missed any great questions? Anybody? Oh, yeah. And of course, Frank's asking, where's the Type B? We've all been.
That's still in Canada.
Yeah, we've all been joking around about that. When I was beating them up at the NRA show, and oh yeah, it's coming. It'll be out real soon, and we already have distributor, or we already have our network set up to sell it, and all this other stuff. And I was like, okay, and nothing on it. So here we go again.
Yeah, I like the old name better anyway. I like Strike B better. Wish it was stuck with that.
Me too.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's see here. I have a question for you. Okay, do you, and this is for everyone, do you think that red dots or RMRs are basically the concealed carry for the future?
No.
Okay. What do you think? What do you think, Honest? Let's just get everybody's opinion, then we can talk about it.
Yeah, I do, but not right now. I think there's too many problems right now, but I think they'll work it out. I think the height over bore is too much. I think once they get them to like where the new shield optic is, but that shield optic isn't like as durable as it needs to be. Like once they figure it out, I think they will. Because people with older eyes, and it's just easier to focus on one dot instead of two. But they have to be as reliable as iron sights, like aim points are on a rifle.
Yeah. What do you think, KS?
I would agree largely with Honest on that. However, the vibe that I'm getting just from talking with people, not only in the comments, but also again, locally, just kind of talking, a lot of people are saying that red dots are really becoming more and more prevalent, more popular. The sales are up. People are more interested in MOS type of firearms, not just Glocks, of course, but other ones as well. And so I think you're exactly right. There's improvement to be made, lowering everything just a little bit. And I think manufacturers are paying attention to that a little bit more. But I think we're going to continue to see growth there. Is everybody going to do it? Probably not. I, for one, although I enjoy shooting red dots, it's a lot of fun. I consider that more a range thing, at least for my application. But I see why some people would really like it, especially if they've got eyes that really need that dot.
Yeah, I think it is definitely going to be the future. I see more and more people going to it. I think, for those reasons, the older eyes, of course, it's illuminated in the dark. Of course, you can't see your target unless you have that lit up, but you know what I mean? I think it's just going to become more practical. And I think a lot of people, and if they even offer it on more pistols, and just put the plate, whether people choose to use it or not, at least they have it as an option on that pistol. I think that's going to become more prevalent. And then if people just buy the gun to buy it, or buy the gun to put an RMR on it, I think that's going to be definitely the future.
I actually don't like them as much for night shooting because unless you have an auto adjustable one, I've had times where I've got out of the truck and I just went out to this, I have a shooting range at home, so sometimes I'll just get out of the truck with my carry gun. I'll even walk down, turn a flashlight on, and shoot a couple rounds just to see how I do. And a lot of times my red dot will be calibrated for the day, and it'll be blinding, And I would rather have the silhouette of my iron sights than a blinding red dot. So I tried the RMR Type 2, and that seems to work a lot better, but still not quite quick enough. Draw pretty quickly. So it has to adjust between then and when you present your target. So.
Well, one thing that we have to say real quick is you need to quit rubbing it in that you have a range right outside your door. You've got to quit rubbing that in.
My bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead. You were finished your thought.
No.
Sorry about that.
Go ahead. I was going to ask a question.
Well, REB had a really good question. Is anyone planning on buying the SIG M17? That's a fantastic question. What do you guys think?
I'm not. I don't even know what it is.
That's the military with the safety and all that stuff.
Oh no,
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not. I saw the
17
ratio and I wasn't impressed.
Yeah, the 320 is okay, but I don't need one with the safety.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're kind of cool looking. I have no interest in buying one. I've done the 320s. I've said what I kind of want to say about them, and I'm sort of over it and ready to move on to the next thing. But I can see why some people might really like it, especially collectors or whatever. I mean, it's the same thing with the G19X, right? There were some people that were adamantly against it for whatever reason. You know, people had several, but at the end of the day, there are other people that were clamoring over it because it's kind of a little bit different and it's reminiscent, if not very similar, to the military entry. So, I mean, you know, I get it.
Yeah, I think for the collector standpoint, people are going to be grabbing it, but you know, and if they carry it, they carry it. I mean, you know, more power to them. That's why there's 31 flavors.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, when people get all wrapped up about a carry gun, if it shoots a decent caliber and it's reasonably reliable, you can carry anything. I mean, a gun's a gun, as long as you can shoot it well. I mean, I carry a 1911 sometimes. It's a 100-year-old gun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. Yep.
Actually, I have one sitting right here.
Let me ask you a question, because I get asked this all the time.
Nice.
How the hell do you carry such a large, heavy gun?
Well, the one I carry is not that heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, Guardian. I've carried a 5-inch before, and it's not that big of a deal. You know, I'm 6'3", 6'4" on a good day, so it's not that big of a deal. As long as you're not riding in a car.
Yeah, and I've always gone back to having a great holster and a great gun belt. You can carry anything you want.
Yeah, I agree. I think the choice of holster is much more important.
Yeah. I know I keep waiting for Harry to make me a leg rig for my Scorpion, but he won't do it.
Have you ever practiced drawing from an ankle holster? I did it a few times I was going to make a video about it, and I sucked so bad I didn't make the video.
Yeah. I actually, when I had boots made way back in the day, cowboy boots, I had a sleeve put in the side of it, and I would carry a Bodyguard 380 in my boot, and it is a nightmare to get to. I mean, everybody thinks, oh yeah, ankle carry, you can just drop down, grab it, pull it out. No, it's not that way. I mean, if you're rolling around on the ground and you get a chance to pull your pants leg up, I mean, hey, you could probably get to it, but yeah, it's not as easy as a lot of people think it is.
You know, I beg to differ. When I was a little kid, I had a revolver cap gun, and I ankle carried that thing for years. And I will tell you, I got damn good at doing a roll, pulling that out of my sock, drawing it, and firing the cap. I'll tell you what, I was a tactical ninja when I was in elementary school. I'm not going to lie to you. So it can be done, gentlemen.
Okay.
It can be done. Do what?
Are you still that limber?
Yeah, no, if I tried to do that now, I'd be in traction for months.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I think some of us do good to tie our shoes nowadays.
Right.
But hey, but you never know what you could do, you know, with adrenaline.
Yeah. Well, I've been in a couple of fights, and you know, I guess I'm from Iowa, and I try to base my knowledge of like concealed carry off that, or at least as much as I can, you know. And I used to take police combatives and stuff, and we would try to draw while doing jiu-jitsu, and it's entertaining trying to do that while somebody's on top of you punching you in the head. So that's kind of why I place my gun where I do and my knife where I do.
Yeah.
Speaking of knives, what do you carry, like a regular pocket knife, or what do you carry?
Yeah, I carry a Spyderco Endura 4. I have for I think like 6 years. Tried to switch off to a fixed blade, but I just don't really need it, you know. And I use it for everything. And the Spyderco it's a big knife, but it's so small and light you don't even know you have it. And it's got a bottom blade is serrated, and I'm a tree trimmer by trade, so I cut a lot of ropes.
Cool. What about you, KS? You carry knives and stuff sometimes?
Yeah, a Spyderco. And I think it's an Endura, but it was from I think I bought it in 1994, and I still have it because it still is. It's. I mean, it's a little gross. The handle's pretty gross because it's got whatever 20 some odd years of my hands on it. But otherwise, the blade's fantastic. It still opens up just like it did the day I bought it. I mean, I can snap it right open. It's fantastic. But I think it's an Endura, I think, or some form of that. But I love it, man. The thing's awesome. And I have no need to buy. I've got other knives, but I don't feel like buying another $150 knife when that one works just fine.
Yeah. I mean, I carry Benchmades. I carry inexpensive knives, you know, as a pocket knife. But one thing I've been thinking about, and, you know, even Harry and I have been talking about it, is, and I just ordered this the other day. And matter of fact, it came in today. I just got me a little toy here, and it's pretty awesome. It's the Devil's Elbow. And this little thing's pretty wicked. And it is a dagger type, but we can carry these in Texas. But It's it's pretty awesome. I had to get the XL blade because the other one I couldn't even imagine trying to put my hands on it. This thing's even small, and this is the XL blade. But I'm going to give it a run and see what I think about it. But so far, I mean, I've been kind of jacking around with it. It seems pretty awesome.
Have you seen the K-bar version of that? I have that, the TDR, I think. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
But I think.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I carried that for a little bit, and it's way easier to draw. Like the self-defense situation, I think that would be a lot more convenient because it'd be really difficult to fold a knife out if you were in trouble.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I was thinking about going with this because, you know, I mean, I can whip my Benchmades and all those open, but I was thinking, man, if I could pull this out, plus what I liked about it, you know, and I really like the Colonel blades, but I wanted to try a longer blade out first. I'm not saying I'm not going to get the Colonel, but, you know, I kind of like this angle to where, you know, it kind of reminds me of a gun where I could just reach in and draw. I'm not crazy about this little clip though, but I'll get into that later. But I don't know. I figured if I could, you know, needed to do work with this. Plus, this is one of the K-bars, you know, they're more of slashers where this is more of a stabber. You know, but I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I'm just going to kind of play around with it. You know, I'm not a knife fighting expert by any means, never have been. But, you know, we'll try it and see. And I'll still carry a pocket knife because the pocket knife is usable throughout the day where this is not necessarily. So.
Yeah, we used to do a little bit of knife fighting training. I got a couple of buddies who were police officers, and we thought we were experts until we went to a class one day.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you have any Philippine people or anything in there?
No, it was like a Krav Maga type class.
Okay. Yeah.
What is it? Kali, Filipino Kali, is that what they call it?
Yeah, I've just watched some videos, man. Those guys are, they don't play.
Yeah.
They know their knife fighting skills, and plus some of them are using Bowie knives like 14 inches long. I'm just like, holy crap.
Yeah, that's some scary stuff. 10 yards and in, a Bowie knife's just as good as a gun, if not better.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's up close and personal for sure.
Yeah,
that's where you can have organ transplants on the quick. But have we missed any questions? You know, if y'all have any questions for Honest, please ask. You know, for us, anything that yeah, and someone is asking about the best weapon light. You know, if you have an opinion, that's cool. I've got a video coming up on that. But if you have,
let's catch up with 17 for a second. He's been absent for a few minutes. 17, why don't we rewind the clock a little bit?
I've been here the whole time, man. I've been here the whole time. So no, just keep going.
Hey, how about that M17? Huh? What do you think about that?
Don't need to have a 19X. Perfectly happy with it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm good.
Have you guys heard about the SIG problems they've been having that the DoD released?
No, what happened?
I can't give the whole details because I read the article a long time ago, but they've been having all kinds of problems with it.
Yeah,
they did the fix for the drop safe stuff, and they caused another problem, and then they had some slide shattering, if memory serves me. Yeah.
They're having magazines also, right? Magazine issues too.
Yeah, that's what it was. Magazine. The slide shattering, that was the Beretta, right? That was a Beretta. Yeah. I think it was something from like 1983.
Yeah, they had to replace a ton of magazines.
Yeah, that must have been what it was. But I know they're having some issues. I don't know. I don't keep too much track of that, but I thought it was interesting.
What?
Hey, what's your favorite 380, Honest?
Oh, probably the Glock 42, just because that's probably the one I shoot the most. But I like the SIG 238 too.
Nice. What do you guys think?
42, if I have to pick one.
I don't really know enough about 380s to honestly give you an opinion.
Okay. I would say probably the 42 as well, but I just generally kind of like 380s. They're fun. And sometimes they can be sort of easy to shoot. They're very pocketable. There are a lot of advantages to those. I wish they were less expensive though. I wish the rounds were less expensive. That's always been a frustration.
Yeah, that's a big thing, right? They're 9mm short, yet they're more expensive than 9mm. How does that make sense?
Right. Well, you know, they have to cut it down a little bit more. It's an extra step. It costs more money, right?
You're just in there doing it with a hacksaw by hand.
I just think they're less used. You know, it's less common, so therefore it's more expensive.
Oh yeah, that is what it is. But
yeah.
Anybody tried that Browning 380? The small tiny little 1911? I thought about getting that, but haven't got around to it yet.
No, they look kind of cool. I usually see one like Cabela's or Centerfire's had a couple as well. I've not no pun intended pulled the trigger on it, but they look kind of cool. And Gerald was mentioning the Smith & Wesson, the EZ, and a lot of people talked about that. I've handled those a couple of times. They are without question very easy to rack. He got one for one of his professional shooting daughters. And for his youngest one, that's pretty cool. Those are, I actually really like those guns.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty cool.
I think they're very cool. I mean, for the size that it is, and I mean, you can rack that slide because it's, the aluminum slide, you can rack that thing so easy. I was pretty impressed with it. I'm not crazy about that rear grip safety, but I mean, I think it's a great pistol.
Yeah, the 1911 is probably one of my all-time favorite guns, but the grip safety I just don't love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ride too high a lot of times, even if you draw perfectly. It seems like if I don't get right on that memory pad, sometimes I'll have pulling the trigger and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah. And also, I know you know this, if you're shooting around a barricade or something with some of the 1911s, or you're shooting around, if you don't have your hand right on that safety at an angle, it won't, a lot of, you have to get the extended, especially with big hands, you got to get that little extension on the back to really be able to shoot around corners, because I've done that a lot of times, and I'm just like sitting there going, what the hell?
I know the 2011s got rid of them, which I really like, but I mean, is there any 1911s out today that don't have a grip safety, or it comes stock with it pinned? Because you can get them pinned, I know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, my grandfather pinned all of his back in the day. A lot of people did. There is, well, there's one that I would love to have, the Wilson Combat, what is it, the EDC 9?
X9.
X9?
The double stack one? I want that so bad.
It's badass. I mean, yeah, there's no, you're good to go with that thing no matter what. But
yeah,
it's also a $3,200 pistol.
Did you see Barrett? What's that guy's name? True Exodus. He's got a good YouTube channel. He's a good shot too. He did a reliability test with one of those. He dumped all kinds of dirt, sanded them, and the thing still ran. I was surprised, because with Wilson combat guns, at least from my experience, reliability can be an issue occasionally. Especially with a 9mm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I might get one of those actually. I've been thinking about getting one.
Yeah, they're awesome.
So expensive.
Yeah, they are. But you can customize them and get them. You can customize them and get them however you want them.
Yeah, it's 2 CZ shadows. That's rough.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I'm going to take you guys on a trip down memory lane here a little bit. So I've started to see a few comments on one of my older videos, and so last night I went back and watched a little bit of the video, because I haven't seen it in a long time, and I don't really remember. It was an if I could only have one between the PPS M2 and I think the Glock 43. And it's been long enough. I don't really remember it. I don't remember my opinion or my thoughts on it very much. And so I kind of went back and watched a little bit, and it was a little tough to watch. It's old enough, and I feel like I've come a little ways since then. But that got me thinking a little bit. So I went back and I watched a few minutes of my very first video, and two things happened. First, there are 2 comments on that video, one of which from Spec Op. So I reached out last night and thanked him again for commenting on my very first video, because that was so meaningful to me. But that's a story for another day. But it also got me thinking about, first, how painful it was to watch 1.5 minutes of that video, and it was like 3 years long. I don't even remember. I mean, I feel like I've shortened them up a lot, believe it or not, guys. I have. But it sounded like I was studying to become somebody who runs a mortuary. I mean, it sounded like I was dying. It sounded like I was severely depressed, and had no interest in actually making the video, but I did it anyways. And so it was very painful to watch everything, and got me thinking about that a little bit. How do you guys feel about some of your older content? Do you ever go back and revisit it, and just for whatever reason, whether it's nostalgia or to go back and see what your thoughts were on something, or what? I mean, what do you think about that?
Go ahead, Honest.
Well, mine are terrible. my first videos are awful. I actually did one of them on my porch, I think. And I like to watch them though, because it reminds me of, how much further I've come, I guess, and how much further I can go. I'm a big YouTube guy. Like, the reason why I do reviews is because I watch other people's YouTube channels all the time, and I look at certain people's YouTube channels. I'm like, wow, I want to be that good someday. So it kind of gives me an idea of where I'm at right now, I suppose. But yeah, they're hard to watch. It's cringeworthy for sure.
What about you, 17?
You know, I don't really go back and look at anything. I know I was looking at something today and I was just amazed on just the video quality and the sound quality that it was back in the day. It was basically just this crappy tabletop, which it kind of still is today, actually, funny enough. And just the camera was just garbage. It was one of those old action cams, so it had the fisheye, you know, effect on it, which was terrible. And then I was using this lapel mic that I bought on eBay for probably $3 from China. And you could actually hear in the background my little tiny desk fan blowing, because it's so damn hot in the room that I do my stuff in, that I had this fan. You could actually hear it in the background. So it was terrible. It's terrible. And now I have an editor that I can edit a lot of the background noise out of and stuff. And it really didn't cost me much to do it. You know, the editor itself was like, I think, only $35. And the big cost for me was the camera and the mic, but I think it was totally worth it.
Yeah. Well, I still get this all the time, and I don't watch a whole lot of it, but when I say this, y'all will probably start laughing. But everybody says that I sound like the guy from The Walking Dead, and I think he's the guy with the mullet, and he's like a professor type guy. And Eugene, I think his name is Eugene.
Oh, Eugene.
And they're like, dude, is this Eugene? You sound exactly like Eugene. And I was like, who the hell's Eugene? So I went on YouTube and I started watching it, and a couple of them I was like, damn, I kind of do. So it was kind of funny, but I get that all the time. But yeah, the quality, I mean, or on the little desk that I was doing it on and stuff back then, I just set the phone sideways and do like a sideways review. You know, it has gotten better. Now I don't do like all the, you know, high-end editing and all that other stuff like a lot of you guys do. You know, I just kind of do me. Not saying I won't ever do that, but right now I don't. But yeah, I've seen some of them before, the older ones, and they're pretty painful to watch. But then again, they're reality. So, you know, we all grow with, you know, what we do.
Well, I think it's fun. I mean, I think it's fun to appreciate kind of where you started to where you are now. And of course, obviously there's a lot to learn and hopefully a lot to explore and to continue to get better and learn and get more comfortable and that sort of thing. It was fun. It was kind of a fun deal. And again, I you know, somebody puts a comment on one of those videos and I go back and check out a minute or two of the video. And the very first thought I have is, God, why did you watch that? How did you sit through that? Because I can't sit through it. I'm the one talking. but I also always thank them and appreciate the comments and that sort of thing. And usually it's good. Sometimes it's, hey, your video sucks and we can't hear you and all that, which is fine. But it just kind of an interesting, you know, all of us have been on long enough, a year and a half, 2 years, whatever it happens to be, to kind of look back on where you started.
Yeah. Since we're kind of talking about that, I know that we all shoot. Where, you know, bringing up ammo, is there a certain place you buy ammo? Is there a certain type you buy? Are you looking for a certain price? You know, where do you guys get your ammo?
I buy mine online. And I guess I buy a part of it online. I get a lot of it from my FFL makes ammo, so I get a lot of reloaded ammo from him now. I used to make my own, but I don't have any time.
Oh, cool. What about you, 17?
I try to go wherever it's cheapest. The problem with buying online here is, you know, obviously in New York, is the fact that probably about 99.9% of the distributors will not mail them to you because it's New York. When the SAFE Act was passed initially, it was put in there that we could not receive bulk ammo. However, that was actually reversed in court. So I'm happy to say to any of you ammo companies out there, you can actually send them to my house. They don't need to go to an FFL. They can be directly sent to me. But unfortunately, the SAFE Act was out there. And of course, nobody, you know, looked into the fact that, you know, you could still send it to people. Thanks to the court system for doing the right job. Finally. But normally I just go wherever, you know, I mean, it's wherever it's the cheapest is. I don't really care what I shoot. I don't care if it's aluminum, brass, steel, you know, if it's cheap, what difference does it make? You're going to the range. You're just there to really hit, you know, static targets anyway. Obviously self-defense is a different story, but I don't really care what I shoot as long as I can get ammo and shoot it.
Yeah. What about you, KS?
I buy bulk from Centerfire. So I tell them I need ammo X of this or X of that, and it's kind of telling the criteria, and they find the best prices on ammo that I will tolerate. I'm using PMC right now, and it's fine. It does the job. But I'm not very ammo snotty when it comes to target ammo. I've had some bad luck with Winchester White Box, and so I've kind of gone away from that. But by and large, if it's relatively inexpensive and I can justify the cost, then that's what I'll do. And it's just, it's for the videos. If I'm buying self-defense ammo, it's a whole different story. But I go bulk and just try and go with what's available.
Yeah. Yeah, I was buying a lot of the Hellfire, and I only had one bad primer out of all, I think about 3,000 rounds. So I had one bad primer, so it worked well for me. I know that recently there was a failure pretty bad that some people had with the Hellfire, but they're since out of business. But I, try to buy bulk, and I did, if y'all or anybody's interested in this, I did find a place, or was actually turned on to a place by Humble and some other guys, but it's called Bulk Ammo Store, and that's just BULK Ammo Store. And they do have it still on special, and it's 1,000 rounds of Polymax, and you can pick the color you want. 125 grain for $165 with free shipping. And that's actually a pretty good deal. So I ordered 2,000 rounds of it, and I got the zombie green for 1,000 rounds, and American, they call it American, and it's red, white, and blue. So we'll see how it runs. Hopefully it doesn't smoke a lot, but we'll see. I've never ran that, so we'll see how it does. But, I thought that was a pretty decent price from what you normally find, and it is remanufactured, but we'll see how their quality is. And then for self-defense, I only run HST. That's just personal with me. Other stuff is probably great, but that's what I choose.
What ammo do you guys run for defense? I use critical defense myself, usually, or duty.
That's normally what I will run. And then I get HST, but the critical defense, I like it. I don't have any issues with it. Not that I've ever had to shoot anybody with
it. Yeah.
What about you, KS?
I made a switch. I was with HST for a long time just because I was familiar with the brand and very confident in it, and Hornady long before then. But actually, Fort Scott munitions. That's what I carry in all my guns, and I love it. That's kind of my thing now. And it's super easy to shoot. I think that's what I like the most about it. Because of the way they've designed the bullets, especially their self-defense rounds, you could just stay right on target. So I like it quite a bit.
Yeah, I got a box of it, right here. I haven't shot it yet, but I'm going to shoot it. And, I kind of want to shoot like something, not just paper. I want to shoot something and see what it does, or, kind of if I'm able to. That's why I've been kind of hanging on to it, but I'm interested in shooting it too.
Mail a box to Paul Harrell.
I'm sorry?
You can mail a box to Paul Harrell. He'll try it out.
Yeah, there you go.
Just shoot that guy's channel.
Shoot a pig head or something with it.
Yeah,
back before I did YouTube, we went to our butcher. We have a downtown butcher, and he would actually just give me frozen pig heads. And we did take some stuff out to a field. It was not my land; it was someone else's, and we shot it with a bunch of defensive ammo or multiple heads that we had, and it's pretty devastating what some of this stuff would do. So, but I've never ran the Fort Scott, so I don't know.
Yeah, we shot some pork with the FK Bruno at my house. That was pretty sweet, I have to admit.
Yeah, that Bruno's badass. I would love to shoot that thing.
Yeah, it was. It did as much or a little bit more damage as my 357, which I thought was pretty cool because it shoot real fast. But I just would never pay for it. It's too much.
No, I know. If they made that gun like way reasonable, or at least within the ballpark, I think that would be a cool gun to have. But it's not one that you're going to carry all the time.
I might.
Now, how much did it weigh? Do you remember?
I wasn't that heavy. Everybody said it was too big, but I think it weighed 48 ounces, maybe something like that. Just a few more ounces more than a 1911.
Yeah, because I put it in my hand at a gun store. They actually had one. Put it in my hand, and I was like, "This weighs a lot more than my TSO," or it seemed to. But I didn't weigh it. It just seemed heavier. But also, it's big. It looked bigger and bulkier. But I don't know. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool pistol.
Yeah, it's definitely big. Yeah, it's not a small gun. Yeah, I think it
No.
has what, a 6-inch barrel or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
but if it was $3 grand, 2,500, I'd probably have one.
Oh yeah. Well, since we're kind of talking about red dots and stuff like that, for people who are interested, if you're considering a red dot, if you were going to purchase one, I know you've got them, but and for pistol and rifle, whichever one you choose, what is your kind of go-to red dot for a pistol and rifle if you have one?
RMR for sure for the micro dots. I want to try the Vortex. KS keeps telling me he can send me one, and I keep finding reasons not to get it for some reason, but I need to get it from him at some point. But and the Aimpoint T2 for sure, or the MRO, whichever.
Okay. What about you, KS?
If it's for carry, actually, it would be probably a Trigicon, just because of their ruggedness. I've not only had a conversation with Harry the other day about this, but also some guys at Frontier Justice as well, and some of the stories. I mean, they've seen, where they've been kind of banged around quite a bit and dropped and that sort of thing. And when you're talking about some of the other red dots that are out there, I won't mention names, but they're a little bit more fragile. Now, for me, just as far as something, if it's a range toy or something like that, I love my Vortex Venom. I've had great luck with it. I like the size of it. It's inexpensive, and it runs like a champ. So define what you're after first, and then figure out, because an RMR, especially Trigicon, that's a pretty healthy investment. So,
yeah. What do you think, 17?
If everything was great and equal in the world, I'd love to have a Trigicon, but they're not. So you have to go with the affordability factor. For me, I have a Venom, and I love it. I have no issues with it. It's been on several guns. It's even been on rifles and shot, and has had no issues. I have a cheapo Bushnell that I actually shot on my Ruger. It does its job. For me, and this kind of goes back to what you guys were all talking about before. I didn't actually get a chance to talk about it, but the red dot thing, I don't necessarily think that is a handgun thing in the future or a carry thing in the future. And simply put, you got to think about cost factor. People, we're fortunate if we can afford it. A lot of people can't. So the likelihood of that becoming the mainstay of all carry firearms, I find it hard to believe that's what's going to happen. And I hope it doesn't happen, because then that's going to eliminate a lot of people from having an opportunity to carry a quality firearm if all manufacturers go to that and only that. Now, the likelihood of them doing that, highly unlikely, obviously. But at the same time, anything that has batteries, anything that is more parts moving, we all know they tend to break, they tend not to work. And I can tell you right now, the way people are today, people are just flat out lazy. So they'll rely so heavily on that red dot that they'll forget they have irons and how to use them. So for me, I just, I don't really run them if I don't have to. I don't want to.
Yeah. Oh, those are all great points. Even on like the ones that I have, or that I have a red dot on, like my Glock 34, I wouldn't carry it until I had backup co-witness iron sights or taller sights. And, but I just think of having an option, just at least a cutout, and let the person choose. Maybe they want to put an optic on it, take it off. Maybe they want to play around with it. It's just an option to have it. As far as what optics I've used, I've tried an RMR on my old core. It was not my RMR. It was a friend's Trigicon, and it worked great. But I wasn't very used to them, so I didn't shoot it very well. But now, since I've been playing with this Delta Point Pro, I really, really like the optic. I like the window. And it seems pretty bright, and seems pretty accurate, more accurate than me, of course. And I like it so far. As far as red dots on rifles, for budget and stuff like that, I have had really good luck with just the plain Jane cheap TRS 25s. And I've had I can't remember the name of it, but it was more expensive, and it worked great too. But I don't have a whole lot of experience with a lot of rifle red dots personally.
I do. I have a bunch.
I know you do. I know you do.
I have 5 TRS 25s, I think, 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And they're a good optic. They were back in the day. I used to watch Nothing Fancy's channel. He recommended them, and I bought a bunch of them. And I love those. I like the Hollow Suns more, I have to admit. I broke a Bushnell or two, but Hollow Suns are tough. And then you can get them for $250, $300, and man, they're as good as an Aimpoint T1 or T2 until you throw them out of a helicopter or something.
Hey, well, you know what? Honest, I'm holding you to that because I bought that Hollow Sun because of your recommendation. So I'm telling you what, there's going to be an invoice in the mail if something happens to me.
I'll watch for it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I've got two TRS 25s that I bought on the sale, and I've got some on some rifles, but hell, I hadn't even taken them out of the box yet. I've got one that's going to be going on something, but I just think for the value of them, you just can't go wrong with them. If you screw them up, who the hell cares? Grab another one, So, but I do want to try some. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that's true. Yeah, if you have a rifle that just has iron sights and you want to throw a red dot on it, why not? If it goes dead, you still have the iron. So, yeah.
Yep. Rabbi Jesus hit us up again with $4.99. We appreciate it so much. And he has a question. He said, or a comment. He wouldn't carry with the red dot on a pistol, too cumbersome. Point shoot is reality and self-defense. So no laser, resigns supreme. And, I agree with that. In a panic situation, we're probably just going to, point at them and go for center mass. Unless you're having to make a pinpoint shot, like if something were to go crazy in a mall or a hospital or just something, and you had to take that long shot, I would like to have an RMR, at that point, if I had to.
Yeah, one thing I don't like about them is if you really are in a panic situation, I've shot so much with iron sights that I feel like I'd be searching, because that's a training thing. And if you were to just start shooting with a red dot, you wouldn't think anything of it. But if you shoot with iron sights so long, I always find myself when I'm going real fast looking for that dot. I just don't like that.
Oh, I do too. I'm learning it in the carry optics, man. I'll come out of the holster and I'm looking for the front sight, and I'm like, where the hell's the dot? So
does it help you to have co-witness irons though?
Yes,
it does. And you can run.
It does now, because when I first started, I didn't have co-witness, and so I was searching all over. Now I can just take the sight, and it should be right at the sight. So co-witness sights are a must, I think.
Yeah. I didn't like them because I thought they would crowd the sight picture. Because originally I used RMRs for shooting distance, but yeah, the co-witness iron sights really are a big plus.
Yeah. Go ahead, 17.
Oh, I didn't have anything to say.
Oh, now as far as like scopes on rifles, and we only got a few minutes, but scopes on rifles, do you have a choice on that if you're going with a scope?
Yeah. I've got a couple I want and I can't afford. But as far as like my overall favorite is the just the classic Trigicon 1-4, the AccuPoint.
Okay. What about you guys?
Scope rifles?
Right, like a rifle scope, yeah. Any preference?
That is definitely not my wheelhouse. I'm not really a big rifle guy. So if you gave me a scope, I would put it on there and not know the difference. I would just hope that it would zoom in a little bit more. That would be my expectation.
Yeah.
And so if the object was closer than it originally appeared, then I would be, yes, that's exactly what I wanted, and I would shoot. I'm a very simple person. You know this.
Yeah, there you go. What about you, 17?
Most of my rifles are all set up for scout setup, so the optic is more forward, obviously. So, right now I have on the M1A a Vortex Scout scope on there. Mm-hmm. I still have to sight it in and do all the great stuff with that. But, I don't have enough experience with the rifle thing. That was something I mentioned prior. And it's something obviously I'm going to work on because, that's how I am. If I can't do it right, I want to get it done right. And so that's going to take me some time and just learn the ropes and have a lot of fun doing it. So for me right now, I got the Vortex Scout on there, and it the picture's fairly clear. It looks real nice to me, and I wouldn't want to get hit by a 308 from it. So, I'm good.
Yeah, and I don't have, tons of like scope, the best scope out there and all that experience. I know there's some super nice ones. I've got, some Vortex, and I've got, the newer primary arms 1-6, and kind of playing around with that. But and I know about the clear glass and, the expense, but so far I'm not a scout snob yet. It could come to that, or, a want, but right now I'm kind of simplistic with that. So,
it seems like those really expensive ones always disappoint me though. Like I want that new Night Force 1-8, that super lightweight one, but it seems like I have a primary arms 1-8, and that scope rocks for like $300, and I have my old Trigicon that still works great, and it's only like $700, and I haven't found a scope that I really want to pay that much money for, I guess.
I looked through and excuse me if I butcher the name, it was a Swarovski or Swarovski or something.
Swarovski.
Yeah, and he had he had 4 of them, one on each rifle, and I was like, that's pretty damn nice, pretty damn clear. But
Yes.
like I said, I don't know enough, and he's got the custom turrets where he's shot, and then he sends in his numbers, and they build the turret, for him. And I was just like, wow, these things are really nice. But like I said, he's a long shooter, I'm not, so I was pretty impressed with those scopes just looking at them.
Yeah, the Z6i is really common 3-gun scope. I've looked through a few. I haven't shot with them, but they're impressive. But are they like $2,800 impressive? I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say the ones he had now, they were super long range, but his were like $3,600 or something, and I was just like, damn. But but then again, he's got $17,000 custom rifles. He's not your average guy, so I was pretty blown away with what he had.
Yeah, I wanted to get into long range shooting for a long time, but every time I try, I just seem like I get bored. I'm a fast shooting type of guy. How do you like your M1A, by the way? I was going to ask you about that. 17.
It's great so far. I just don't shoot it very well. I've got to get, like I said, a little more range time with it. It's got kicks like a mule. Still muzzle brake on it because they couldn't send it with that to New York State. So it definitely has a little bit of an uncomfortable punch to my chest. It's like anything else. Like I said, the one thing that I did notice for me, and I'm sure this would be something you'd probably find, although you're probably a much better shooter than I am, just the height of the cheek weld is a little off. I'm 6'2", but I've got like goon arms, and so just to get a good reach on it, my cheek weld was low. I couldn't really get my head where I wanted it to be, and if I brought the actual butt of the stock up, it went more into my collarbone, and I'm not doing that. That's no fun. So once I put the scope on, now it's right at my eye level, and so now I feel much better with how I'm going to shoot it the next time. I just couldn't get comfortable. I kept squishing my neck down, and it was a nightmare. So that would be the only thing I would say is probably the downside of that rifle is, in my opinion, it's just made for shorter people, with shorter arms. But for me, I could see why somebody would want to get something with more of a usable stock, like the SOCOM stock or something like that.
Sure.
Cool.
And it weighs a ton. It's super heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look cool though.
Oh, they're awesome. It's awesome. I still sleep with it every day.
A little spooning.
It's about that time. If y'all have anything else, I figured we would all close it out, and I'll let you go ahead and go first. Honest.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I'm glad to be on this chat, and it's fun talking to people that know a bunch about guns. And yeah, happy to be here, I guess. Thanks for having me on.
You have anything crazy coming up or anything great coming up you want to let everybody know about?
I've got to do my Beretta videos. I've got a couple Beretta videos coming because Beretta fans, man. I put out a first look like 3 months ago, and I'm getting too slow on those. And I've got the 3D gun video, and I've got some scope stuff, all kinds of stuff.
Cool.
Nice.
What about you, 17?
I have a at the range video at the APX. I did that tabletop, and I did shoot the APX, and it's a great gun. I still am kind of on the fence if I'm going to keep it, although Lawrence Q kind of talked me out of selling it just because he was saying at some point we'll get the compact and the Centurion grips only, and then I can just drop the long slide on there, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's a really, really good handgun. I do like it. And the looks grow on you, trust me, because I thought it was ugly as hell. But then when you play around with it, you're looking at it, it's actually a really nice looking handgun. So I'll be doing that. I'm also going to be doing some of everybody's most favorite brand, Springfield. So I'm going to be doing a shooting video on the XDS Mod 2. It's not bad. It's not a bad shooter. Some little quartz here and there, but it's not bad. I mean, it's, in my opinion, in the same ballpark as all the other, subcompact single stack handguns. And then I'm going to be doing a comparison of it with the old XDS because there are some changes there. I got a couple other things on the way. Trying to think what else. I did wind up getting a Gen 5 Glock 19, so that's on the way. And then, of course, another P07. So, look forward to doing all that.
Good deal. What about you, KS?
And I'm finishing responding to Mile High. Thanks, Mile High. Appreciate it, brother. Good to see you. Yeah, a lot of stuff coming up. The big one right now is the FN 509 Tactical. Very excited about this. I actually took it and shot it last night, and without spoiling anything. Wow. So I'm very excited about that. And some other stuff coming up as well. And Rabbi mentioned everybody needs to get together and choose a rifle for me. So that actually might be kind of cool. I might see how I can maybe spin that and make that a thing. So we'll see. And it's either going to be like a $30 rifle that when you pull the trigger it falls apart, like a comedy sketch, or it's going to be like a $9,000 gold-plated rifle. With either of which I would not be interested in, but something in between the two would be great. So, but guys, as always, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for spending your Wednesday night. Honest, it is always a pleasure, brother. You're a permanent member of the crew, so we really appreciate it. It's always a pleasure. And yeah, thanks everybody.
Yeah, First, I did want to definitely thank Honest for coming on. You know, it really means a lot, giving his input. And I know that the subs enjoy it. And I definitely want to thank all of our subscribers. You know, if you haven't subscribed to other channels, please do on the chat. You know, other people watching this have great channels. So check them out. Everyone who hasn't subscribed to Honest, please do. His link is in the description. And I've got a new gun coming out that I haven't even revealed yet. Also, make sure that you follow all of us on Instagram. We all have Instagram accounts, and we're learning. I know myself and Honest, we're learning the Instagram stuff.
Yeah.
So we don't know all the ins and outs yet, like these other two guys, but we're trying to do the best we can with it. So follow us over there. You know, we got a lot of sneak peek stuff coming out. We kind of throw it on Instagram, and sometimes don't even do videos and stuff. We just put it on Instagram. So, but we appreciate y'all all so much. If y'all don't have anything else, we will call it a night, and we appreciate everyone. So.
Thanks, Honest. Good night, guys.
Carry on, everybody.